Let's talk about the most expensive trade in anime history. It wasn't for a devil fruit or a Rinnegan or any cursed technique. It was the trade Satoru Gojo made the moment he was born with the 6 eyes and limitless. The moment he became the strongest. Today, we're not power scaling. We're doing a psychological autopsy. Because Gojo's story isn't about strength. It's about the devastating, invisible cost of perfection. From day one, Gojo existed outside the rules. He wasn't just powerful, he was an exception to reality itself. Infinity wasn't just a technique, it was his first lesson in isolation. It literally means nothing can touch me. And here's the first psychological fracture. When you're treated as a phenomenon before you're treated as a person, you internalize that distance. You start to believe you're not like them because, well, you're not. This creates what psychologists call a God complex, but not the arrogant kind, the lonely kind. The kind that looks at human connection the way a mathematician looks at a butterfly. Beautiful, but operating on rules he can't comprehend. Enter Geto Suguru, the singularity, the statistical impossibility in Gojo's universe. Geto wasn't just strong, he was Gojo's cognitive equal, the only mind that could process the world at Gojo's speed, the only person who could look at the same impossible landscape and say, yeah, I see it too. This wasn't friendship, this was recognition. For the first and only time, Gojo had a valid mirror, someone who reflected back not a god, not a weapon, but a person. And then he lost him, not to death, that would almost be easier, to ideology, to a chasm that even their shared strength couldn't bridge. This is the pivotal trauma, the moment Gojo's psychology hardens into doctrine. If his one equal, the person who understood him completely, could fall this far into darkness, then no one can be trusted to stand at his height. So he builds a new system, his teaching philosophy, and everyone misunderstands it. They think he's trying to create strong sorcerers. He's not. He's trying to create replacements for Geto. He's trying to manufacture understanding, to build, from the ground up, minds that can one day process the world at his lonely altitude. It's the most ambitious, heartbreaking therapy project imaginable. Now watch his behavior through this lens. The arrogance, the flippancy, the deliberate, theatrical irreverence. This is calculated performance. It's not his personality, it's his defense architecture. He uses his overwhelming presence as a deterrent. He makes himself unapproachable so no one ever gets close enough to see the man behind the myth, so no one can become another Geto-shaped wound. He has built his own prison realm, brick by psychological brick, and he lives in it every single day. So when Kenjaku springs the prison realm trap, it's not a clever ambush, it's a metaphor finally catching up to its source. The physical box is just making official what's been true for over a decade. He was already sealed by the infinite distance his power created. He doesn't rage, he doesn't panic. He says it's interesting, because on some level, he recognizes it. This is his natural habitat, silence, darkness, absolute separation. We celebrate Gojo Satoru as the pinnacle, the unbeatable, the man who reshaped the world with his strength. But we rarely acknowledge the price of that throne. He traded every ordinary human connection for the title of strongest. He traded intimacy for infinity. He traded being understood for being untouchable. The tragedy of Satoru Gojo isn't that he lost, it's that he won by every metric his world values and found the victory empty. He reached the summit alone and discovered that a peak no one else can reach is just another name for a prison. So what's the verdict? Is the trade-off worth it? Could Gojo have chosen a different path, or was his loneliness written in the stars? Or should I say, in his 6 eyes? Debate your heart out in the comments. Smash like if this made you see him differently, and subscribe for more character autopsies. Next week, we're analyzing the exact opposite, a character defined not by overwhelming strength, but by overwhelming heart. We're breaking down the beautiful, tragic psychology of Yuji Itadori, the boy who carries the world's pain to save it.